Hello, my name is Sabrina Price, and I am currently a student in the Instructional Technology program at Kennesaw State University. I am on track to graduate in just a few weeks in December of 2018, and this is a presentation of my capstone project that I have completed during this program. The title of my capstone project is How Can Digital and Media Technologies Be Used to Increase Literacy? The need behind this topic comes from my position as a media specialist and a former English teacher. I've always had this innate desire to help students improve their literacy skills. But even more than that, I want them to have just this overwhelming love for reading. It is something that I know not everyone is born with, so I want to try to encourage these students that reading doesn't have to be about punishment, or it doesn't have to be just for a grade, but that love of reading and to understand the importance of what reading can do for them. Specifically, we have a need at Clear Creek Elementary School to increase literacy using digital media and technology. Our literacy scores based on the Georgia milestones are below others in the district. So we did set a school-wide goal to increase literacy by 3%. So I thought this would be a great way to implement something that is personal to me, but also something that could greatly benefit the students at our school. And of course, the statistics speak for themselves. 44 million adults in the United States can't read well enough to read a simple story to a child. More than 20% of adults read at or below a 5th grade level, which is far below the level needed to earn a living wage. Also, 4th grade is known as the watershed year. We can predict that if a child is not reading proficiently in the 4th grade, he or she will have approximately a 78% chance of not catching up. And those statistics are staggering, especially in my role as a media specialist in an elementary school. I can see daily how many children in the 4th grade are not reading at grade level. So it's very scary and very sad to think that these students are at a 78% chance of never catching up. So I want to see our school try to improve those statistics. Why digital? The research shows that mobile learning provides students with opportunities uncompressed by space and schedule limitations. So basically put, just as we all know, digital media and technologies open up such a more broad range of what can be available to our students at any given time and at any given place. There are websites such as Epic, Newsela, Reading Counts, Scholastic Reading Inventory that we can utilize, and we can meet students at their needs. We can do assessments to find out what those levels are for each student, and sites such as Epic and Newsela give students an opportunity to read online or from mobile devices even outside of school. We want to use the technology to teach students how to be 21st century learners and how literacy looks in a 21st century environment. We all recognize that testing is moving to being completely online, and there's a big difference between reading a book in your hand and being able to read and be able to comprehend text on a screen, and not only being able to read and comprehend the words, but understanding how you can use the tools that are provided for you digitally to increase your chance or their chance of learning. And then, of course, the combination of literacy and digital tools is evident in the Common Core standards. You can see that in Anchor Strand 7 with the integration and evaluation of diverse formats. And also another example would be Anchor Strand 5 in speaking and listening, using digital media and digital displays of data to express information and enhance understanding of presentations. Basically, there is a need for teachers to learn and utilize ways to successfully integrate digital media and technology into their lessons. The slides that you see to the right side of the screen, these were the first two questions that I asked during my grade level meetings that I had as part of my capstone. So the first question I asked was, does technology increase student achievement? Some would say yes, and some would say no, because they recognized what the next question should be. And it should be worded, can the use of technology increase student achievement? One of the goals that I wanted our teachers to understand was that technology itself can't help our students. It is how we use technology in our teaching and how we expect students to use technology in their learning that can increase student achievement. So this quote says, instruction should not be driven by the technology that will be used, but rather the technology should be selected based on the learning standards for the unit. We have to remember that it's not about just technology and adding it and adding it and adding it, but taking what we are already learning and what we're already teaching and increasing the effectiveness of those things through the use of technology. The plan for my capstone project followed these steps. I started off with a needs assessment. I used Google Forms to send out a needs assessment to the school to just kind of identify strengths and weaknesses, areas that teachers thought that there could be improvements, but also a lot of information that I could gain about their attitude toward technology, how are they already using technology, what do they want to see about technology, and so on. Specifically, I analyzed the Scholastic Reading Inventory and Dibbles data and connected that to the results of the needs assessment. The Scholastic Reading Inventory is what provides Lexile levels to our students. Dibbles can also do that as well, but it gives us a baseline for reading comprehension and where we can begin with our students and where we want to see them increase. Based on those results, I made a proposal to the administration. They were definitely on board with this capstone project and what the outcome could mean for our teachers and students. And with their approval, I organized and provided a 40-minute grade level training for professional learning. So I set aside one whole day and met with every teacher in every grade level for the 40-minute training that we did. I used Buncee as the presentation. You'll be able to see that in the slides in just a moment. But basically just showing them the importance of using the digital media and technologies to increase literacy, which is already a goal for our school. So I wanted to just give them the tools that would make it easier and more beneficial for them. After that, I followed up with teachers using another Google Forms survey, and I also sent out an email that provided teachers with all of the links that we discussed through the training, so they would have them on hand and not just written on a piece of paper that they may misplace a day after the meeting. I was able to monitor lesson plan submissions. Our teachers submit their lesson plans on Microsoft OneDrive. I also was able to monitor and manage the SRI and Dibble scores moving forward from that point. And I was able to continue and still continue to follow up with teachers on progress in introducing new programs and technologies. The evaluation plan consisted of teacher surveys, face-to-face interactions with the teachers and the administration, and those meet the standards of 1.4 and 3.6. But also observations, formal and informal. The administration was involved with the formal observations through TEKS. I was able to observe by walking through some of the classes and based on what their lesson plan showed they were going to do. And then, of course, the weekly lesson plans. And those meet these PSC standards. The description of my capstone experience, the bulk of it was either gaining the information and doing the research and then working with the teachers and giving them this training. So this is an overview of what my Buncee presentation looked like. This was the title, so when they came into the meeting. And below you can just see a snippet of the slides. I'm not going to go through every slide with you, but you've already seen the two questions that I asked them at the beginning. But then I also went just through different options that they could use for technology, ways that they could improve their use of SRI, other online story options like Epic that I mentioned earlier. We talked about the importance of reading and responding, not just reading, but reading and responding in some way. I created this using Buncee because I also wanted to show them that this could be a very easy tool for the teachers to use to have students read and respond, more than just a quiz or a basic pen or pencil assessment or some other kind of regular reading and responding. It would engage the students a little bit more. This was the assignment that I gave to the teachers, and I did have the administration's backing for this, but they were expected to go from the meeting time up through the milestones and document in their lesson plans at least twice a week showing integration of these strategies. The use of online stories had to include how they would respond, and then of course I reminded them there would be a survey sent out through Google Forms. Here are slides showing my survey. So you can stop the presentation here if you would like and be able to go through the questions. We have these 4 slides and then these 2, and this gives you an idea of the teachers who did complete the responses. The survey was obviously not required, but I did have these many people, and I feel like the grade levels gave me a good idea of how what I taught affected each grade level. The reflection of my project, I really have enjoyed this project overall. I was given positive feedback from teachers and administration, and you can see evidence of that if you flip back to those slides from the survey. I feel that this really helped to open a communication door between myself and the teachers. I already interact with the teachers every day in my role as media specialist, but I think this kind of gave them a different view of me, that it's not just about me being a media specialist and checking in and checking out books or being in charge of distributing technology, but that I can actually show them ways to use that technology effectively in their classroom. It created a sense of accountability in myself with the SRI and milestone scores. It strengthened my leadership skills. Standing in front of those rooms, the room of teachers during those grade level meetings, was a little overwhelming to begin with. These were my peers, but this was the first time that I was actually in a leadership position training them on something they were expected to go back into the classroom and use. So I feel that it really helped with those skills and with my confidence level. This year I have already done a second set of grade level meetings using Newsela, which is also part of using technology to increase literacy. And I think it made evident what can be possible with technology and digital media to the teachers. And it did open the door for the improvements for this year. So we kind of came into this in the second half of last year, but it's progressed and shown us how in the beginning of this year we can go ahead and start making those improvements. Overall, I think it was very useful. I have seen a lot of change in some of our teachers, especially through the different uses of SRI. The use of Epic has increased by a lot, and if I had more time, I would go into more of Epic. If you aren't familiar with it, please research it to see how that can be used at any grade level. But I am very confident in what I was able to do with the teachers and for our specific school through the use of this capstone project. And I've been excited this year to continue to see these improvements. It wasn't just a train them one time, see them use it one time, and then it goes away. But I've really tried to follow up with them throughout this year and even come back to them, showing them new things such as Newsela to use in their classrooms to continue this improvement. I look forward to these opportunities that graduating from this program is going to allow me, and I hope that this capstone project shows my growth over the past 5 semesters and my confidence in using this knowledge and using these leadership skills and technology skills to benefit not only teachers but the students as well. Thank you.